Come. Sit. Come, darling, come. Lower yourself all the way, nice and gentle. And much better. Hello, darling. Thank you for joining me today. Now I hear that you have some big news and that you are going on a hot date. Did I hear correctly? This is very exciting. Well, dating and romance are certainly some of my favorite subjects. Along with communicating, it is one of the more delicate, complicated, dynamic, and yet in many ways simple acts of humanity. We all of us did come from two parents at some point. That is the way Mother Nature works, darling. So our parents had to get together and do the horizontal tango at some point in order for you and me to be sitting here communicating back and forth. And one of the great mysteries and problems, of course, with being a human is that in spite of the fact that we all speak our language quite proficiently, most of us are horribly ineffective at real communication, especially when it comes to young, vibrant romance. But that is very exciting. Are you a little bit Twitter-pated? I love this word, Twitter-pated. I got it from Bambi. It's very cute. Remember the character Thumper? And he thumped his little foot. Thump. Because it's like the beating of your heart when you're with somebody who just makes you feel so alive, darling. This is a wonderful thing. Now, you have gotten over one of the great and very dynamic hurdles, which is you asked and they said yes to a first date. Am I correct? Good. Okay, so very exciting. Now, in many ways, the hard part is over. And what I mean by that is, it took you a tremendous amount of courage. Not everybody appreciates this. And when I say not everybody, who I'm referring to are those basically obnoxiously attractive people in the world, both men and women. You know these people. They walk into a room and you hear a record scratch and everybody goes, oh, who is that? Okay, we've all seen it, darling. We've been in their presence. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it can be very disarming when you see somebody who is as beautiful as, you know, an Angelina Jolie in her prime, a young Brad Pitt, a George Clooney, a Leonardo DiCaprio, a Salma Hayek. You know, you've seen these people, and when you first lay eyes on them, it is nothing less than striking. You know, we have seen this many times. And if we are being honest with ourselves, these people do not have the same experience as us mere mortals, darling. And there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing right about it. There is nothing wrong with it. It is simply what is. But for the rest of us, we have to put in a little bit extra effort, a little bit more work. And as I said before, a little bit more courage, which you have shown. Because frankly, nobody likes the feeling of rejection. Nobody likes being told no. Especially when you are making yourself very vulnerable. When you are telling a person that you have a crush on, I like you more than just as a friend. I would like to get to know you as possibly a partner, as a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And this is very vulnerable. You are opening up yourself to being rejected. And being rejected is also part of the human experience. All of us have been rejected, okay? I shouldn't say all of us. 99% of us, okay, have had the experience of being rejected. And it doesn't tickle. It's not exactly like a coochie, coochie, coochie. It's more like a slap in the face. And you feel like you get donkey punched, bop. And you feel like a puddle of mud and goop. And you just haven't, it's not a good, you understand this feeling. We all have to know this feeling. But you, darling, you got a yes. Yes? Good. Congratulations. Okay, so now what? Well, the first thing that I want you to focus on doing on this date of yours, okay? And this is very important, and I've given this advice many times in one way, shape, or form, but it very much applies to young romance and dating in general. Do not try to be impressive. This is one of the great pitfalls that many people fall into. You've built up the courage. You have the chutzpah, the cojones, the huevos to ask out this person, which is very impressive. And they've said yes, and then you think, okay. It's kind of like you are fishing, and you got a fish on the hook, and you want to give it up. You know, you want to start reeling it in really too fast. And here's where you need to slow down, darling, okay? Because many things are spoken within a yes. It is the other person is also being vulnerable with you in that moment. They are making many judgments about who you are. Are you somebody that they would like to get to know better? And in many ways, you could reject them right back. It's not quite the same, but in some ways. So both people have opened themselves up to an experience, to the possibility of moving forward in a romantic way, which is different than a friendship. And we all know this. There's a different kind of a connection, a different kind of experience to be shared. So, when you are going on this date, when you sit down, or I highly recommend, by the way, you can. There's nothing wrong with taking somebody out to a dinner or a coffee. There's nothing wrong with this, darling. What I would really stay away from is doing something like going to a movie or any kind of an activity where the two of you are observing something. Is it okay? But it's not ideal. You want to be doing some kind of something together where, maybe a little bit physical. I mean, simple. I love the idea. Like, for example, I love putt-putt. I love putt-putt golf. It's a silly, stupid game. And anybody can do it. There's no real skill involved. But you're walking around, you're moving, you are talking. And, and it's not too expensive. It's not going to break the bank. But there are many other things you can do. Going for walks and so forth. And, I'll let you be creative. Or maybe there's a hobby that you enjoy doing. Or maybe there's a hobby that you know that they enjoy doing. Bonus points if you already know that this person you have asked out enjoys a certain activity. Perhaps there's a way to gently work that in. I don't know. That's up to you. But the key moment is that when you are there, is that you listen. You must listen and be curious. And your curiosity is kind of like a door or a window into somebody's soul. When you are genuinely curious with another human being, and you ask them questions about their life and what they like to do, and experiences and any travels or things, dreams they may want to do, what kind of adventures do they love to go on someday. You are stepping into their world. It is a window into the person that, who knows, they could be a future husband or wife. But it's very important that you are curious and that you really, really listen. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. And there's a surprising benefit to this. Sometimes people worry, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? You hear the word I all the time there, yes? What am I going to do? What am I going to say? Take the pressure off yourself. What do you want them to experience? How do you want to make them feel? You want them to feel heard. You want them to feel like you were engaged. You want them to feel as if they are the most important thing in your life at that moment. That they are the center of your universe in that moment. And this is very, very important. Because first and foremost, it takes the pressure off of you. Now, you are not trying to be impressive. You are not trying to look good. All you are focusing on doing is them. You're focusing, the attention is not on you. The attention is on them. And usually, not always, I'm not saying that this always happens, but usually, when you are able to do this effectively, when you are able to make the focus of the conversation about things in their life and what brings them joy, 9 out of 10 times they will reciprocate. Humans, there's a it's built into our genetic programming, this concept of reciprocity. And unfortunately, it can be weaponized. We'll get to that later. But humans have a built-in desire to give back when something nice was given to us. When somebody is generous to us, most people, 9 out of 10 people, have a sense of, oh, that was a good feeling. I would like to give this back. I would like to reciprocate this kindness, this generosity. And when done correctly, it is a beautiful dance. And you will ask about them and find out what they are interested in and their hopes and dreams. And they will most likely ask that about you. And so, what about you? And the key is, when the focus of attention comes back to you, enjoy it, because we all love to talk about ourselves. All of us, darling. Every single person ever. Believe me when I tell you. We are our favorite person. Okay? Everybody. It's not fully narcissistic, but it's a little bit. Everybody is a little bit narcissistic. Everybody, we are our own favorite subject. Okay? It's just a reality. You can wish it wasn't the case, but it is simply the case. We like to talk about ourselves to a captive audience. That's very important. We like to talk about ourselves to an audience that wants to listen. Okay? Enjoy that, but be mindful of getting back to them. when they ask a question, talk about it. If you have something to say, enjoy that. But then, don't forget to ask something back after a little bit. It is interesting that sometimes, you can observe people on first dates, and this really is not a gender thing, such as men that do this, such as women that do this. But you'll get that person who just cannot stop talking about themselves the entire time. The whole conversation is about them, their job, their career, their it's them. And inevitably, this will be one of the biggest turn-offs known to humankind. I have seen known men that have asked out, the most stunningly beautiful girl, just that bombshell, that 10 out of 10, that dime, okay? And they ask her out and they go on a date, and she does nothing. She just talks about herself the whole time. She's just blah, 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 blah. I do this, I do that, I want to do this, and then I did this, and then I did that. And by the end, it's just, she went. It's amazing how quickly people can go from a 10 to a 5 in the blink of an eye. because they're not interesting. And what that means, when somebody is not interesting, what we are really saying is they're not interested in us at all. And if somebody is not interested in us, inevitably, we will not find them very interesting either. So, all I want you to focus on this first date, and many, many others after this, which hopefully there will be many others, not to be impressive, be expressive. I say this, don't be impressive, be expressive, darling. Be expressive, be bold. But more importantly, be curious. This is the best thing, the most important thing that you can be, is just be curious. And the rest will sort of take care of itself. Because if you are curious, they will most likely be curious. Now, that does not mean you won't come across a dud. Sometimes you meet somebody and we think, oh my goodness, this person is the bee's knees. This is the cat's pajamas. This is just, the dog's bollocks. Sorry, that's a bit gross. But you know what I mean. This person is everything, okay? And then you talk to them a little bit, and that shine wears off very quickly. That can happen. So, major red flag. If the person, if you're talking and communicating and you're asking and you're curious about them, and they are, constantly checking their cell phone, this is a very bad sign. Could be several things. One, they might be checking their cell phone because you are not being interesting, you are not being curious, you are not being engaging. But there are also some people who are just incredibly narcissistic. And if that is the case, don't be upset by it. Just realize that, hey, this one's not for me. Or maybe you are not for them. It's fine. There's nothing right or wrong about it. Not every key opens every lock. You have to find the right grooves, the right connections. And I will tell you in my own personal experience, it often comes in strange places. I've had wonderful romances from very unexpected people that I would not, on paper, this person would not be who I would normally think that this would be the one. And I've been with people who, on paper, you would look and you go, oh my God, this is, whoa, what a beauty, what a hunk, what a who, you know what I'm talking about. And yet, on paper, it looked like everything should be the perfect thing, and then in reality, there is no spark, there's no chemistry there. Okay, and it is important that I would like you to view, if you can, dating as a very fun game. It is to be taken seriously, but also it is a game. Life is a series of games. You will play many, many games in your life. There are career games, there are relationship games, there are so many friendship games. There are so many games that we are always playing. And the best games, of course, are when it's win, 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 win. Everybody's always winning at the games. But not everyone is that way. Not every game will be win-win. And it's important to recognize when a game is just not very fun to play, that it's okay. This particular game, isn't working out. Now, I want to get back to one last important thing, which is how reciprocity can be weaponized. Okay? Now, this is more common with men to females, but it can go the other direction as well. This is simply more common, which is, the man takes out the woman and takes it to a very nice place, buys her very nice things, has a very expensive evening out, and he won't let the woman pay. This can start to feel weird, because there can be a feeling of, well, maybe I owe him something for all of this generosity he has shown. And it can go the other way. It's just not as common. Maybe I owe her something for all the generosity she has shown me. I owe her something of an experience. And you know what I'm talking about. And this is where we start to feel the ick. And the ick is an interesting reaction when we feel icky about something. That's a complex emotion, the ick. You're reacting to your natural instinct of reciprocity, which is, oh my gosh, this person was so nice, this person was so generous. I would like to be generous back. But what they are actually asking for in reciprocity is something that you are not willing or wanting to give back. And we all have, I shouldn't say we all, many of us have felt this and have felt the ick. Well, we don't want to weaponize reciprocity. And this can get into the dilemma of, well, what do we do about paying on the first date? Should the man pay? Should it be Dutch? Should the woman pay? Less common, but it happens. I'm a kind of a fan of playing it by ear, but it is definitely a dance you have to do. And I was explaining to another friend earlier that, let's say you go on a date and you want to take, let's say it's a boy, takes out a girl to dinner, and they have a dinner. One possible way to deal with the financial thing, and look, some women expect to be taken care of, okay, and to each their own. I'm not going to judge. Everybody has their own view of their own self-worth and what they expect, whatever. But let's say you offer to pay, and he or she says, oh, no, let's split it. You can either accept this, or you say, oh, no, how about this? I'll get this one, but let's go to another location. Let's go to, I heard this really cool, bar, this neat tiki bar, and they have, really neat cocktails or something. And how about you can buy me a drink at the next place, or something like this. I'm not saying that is what you have to do at all, okay, darling. I'm simply saying there are ways of creating mutual reciprocity, where both people are feeling like they are contributing without it feeling like I owe them something. Because nobody likes that feeling, darling. I don't know what, nobody likes feeling like owing somebody something. Not in that way. So, but I don't think you're gonna have that problem. You are simply, you're not an icky person. You are a wonderful, caring, funny, sweet, dynamic person with a lot to offer. So I'm going to leave you with that you are a fun, funny, wonderful, caring, sweet person with so much to offer. And the main thing is just to go and be curious. Be genuinely curious. Be bold. Be expressive. But above all, be curious about them, darling. Okay? You will take my advice and report back to me. I am very, very excited to hear about how this goes. I'm very excited to hear. This is a big step. This is a big phase in your life. So, go have fun. Remember, if it's not fun, what's the point? Okay? Okay. Okay, shoo. Come here. Come here. Go be bold. Go be beautiful. Go be fun. And tell me what happened. I want to know all about it. Okay? Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, darling. Bye-bye.